Hey everybody, welcome to the Jed Said channel, sponsored by Meaning to Live Counseling, where we make your life as easy as we can, using the fewest amount of words as possible. My name is Jed Thorpe, licensed therapist. Today we're going to go over this concept of failing. We'll figure out where it came from, what was added to it to make it so shame-based at this point. You didn't realize that, did you? And then we're going to talk about other people that you've probably heard of, infamous people in the past who have identified failures and switched belief systems around it to make it so, life is easier for them in the long run, maybe even in the short run. If you like this stuff, be sure to subscribe, push all the buttons, and the more subscribers and followers of support that I get here, the more time I have to do videos. Stay tuned, I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. That wasn't long. I'm glad you're here. Let's figure out this kind of stuff. Boy, good information to have. Wouldn't it have been cool to know that fail, let's just define it, is the inability to attain something that you desired to attain. So that was a failed attempt, so to speak. That the whole failure piece, if you look in the literature, that's not even around until the mid-17th century, where somebody finally wrote it down on a paper. It's like failure. By the way, mid-17th century, you're looking at, this is the Middle Ages, right? A lot of people didn't even know how to read, so they're just out there in their knight in shining armor and, jousting. Yeah, I think I would have been horrible in that era. My body is not built for that. You know what I mean? I'm a petite kind of guy. I think I would have been laughed at if I was trying to joust someone. They'd be like, hey, get that woman off that horse. So anyway, genetics. I'm getting a little off topic. So back in the mid-17th century, that's when they added the U-R-E into the whole fail piece. Failing, that's okay. That's not a really shame-based. You just didn't do something that you're trying to accomplish. Failure, that makes things a little more personal. So, mid-17th century, they add the word "yer" to the end of fail, which shames everybody now. And here we have it. 2022, rocking and rolling. People are still identifying failure as a thing, which is weird. And they don't differentiate failing at something versus being a failure. Some people will say that you can't succeed until you've failed. Let's talk about some real fails in the past. People that you might have a little more respect for than me. First one comes to mind, Abraham Lincoln. The 16th president, the guy that's on the penny, which is insulting. So it's a good thing he's on the $5 bill as well. He failed, did not succeed at something he was trying to do 4 times in lower offices of, politics before he got to be the commander-in-chief for the highest office, before he got to be president. Probably learned what not to do, how to do things better, leaning into failure. That'll really, it'll help people to not be so afraid of failing when they just change the idea that failing at something is good. It's a good thing. So, Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe. I don't know how honest he was. I don't know the dude. Hopefully he was honest. Man, I'm babbling a lot. So, here we go. Number 2, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, right? Quantum physics guy. Pi 3.14. A equals, I wasn't that great at math, to be honest. If you're watching this, Albert, backstory on him, a lot of failure. Failed to get into the school, the university he wanted to. When he did get into a university, didn't get good grades. Failed at getting good grades, which I'm sure he was trying to get. Finally graduated. By the way, at this point, for some trivia, his dad passed away believing he was a failure. So his dad even had this cuss mindset around the belief around failure. Anyway, so old Einstein, wild hair Einstein, also part of the Adventurers Club, which is a pretty cool rabbit hole to go down if you ever want to Google that stuff. So his dad thought he was a failure. Albert Einstein's all sad and depressed, graduates college, then doesn't even get a decent job, ends up that Albert Einstein went door-to-door salesman for insurance. I know, I was pretty shocked. He also had his fair share of figuring out how not to do things, which is a famous quote also you've heard of, Thomas Edison. You know what I mean? The light bulb guy. We're back in the 1800s here. He was saying, what's his famous quote? I didn't fail 10,000 times when I was inventing the light bulb. I discovered 10,000 ways not to do it. You know what I mean? It's not as negative as another more empowering belief system, which is why you're watching these videos anyway. Awareness up stuff, emotional intelligence. Failing is good. Failing is good. You learn, you grow, you get more wise, you get stronger. Other people who have failed, let's just have some more fun. Let's get a little more modern. I don't know if you listen to any rap. I do. But let's talk about 50 Cent. 50. He was banned from the recording studios in America, failed at accomplishing something he wanted to accomplish, and he learned what not to do and everything else. Had to go to Canada. Did you know this? It's wild. Had to go to Canada to do his first recording bit, to get it recorded. And this was after he was shot 9 times. 9 times. That's crazy. Reminds me of Ferris Bueller's 9 times. 9 times. So I don't even know how he's alive, but glad he is. Rocking and rolling, rapping and rolling probably. I'm trying to think of who else did cool stuff. I almost forgot. Colonel Sanders. I know this guy's, I'm doing old-timey stuff. There's more recent people. I just don't pay attention to recent famous people. Sorry. In my head, I think if they don't know who I am, why would I put energy in knowing who they are? But, Colonel Sanders, I've eaten his chicken. Good stuff. Let's talk about his fails. Oh, this guy. First of all, let's go backwards. He was almost dead, basically, by the time that he was able to monetize his secret recipe in chicken. 65 years old before he finally got on to a good track, financially, I suppose is a good way to say it. Before he got there, though, guess how many times he failed at accomplishing the goal he had of getting this recipe into restaurants and getting it off the ground. Over 1,000. Over 1,000. 1,009, I think is what the research says. 1,009 rejections. 1,009 failed attempts at getting this business. And now everybody knows it. Eventually, though, call-out culture, right? This guy looks too much like a colonial with his old white hair. And, you know what I mean? Everybody's trying to rebrand and make things as good looking, as perceptively as they can, which is what KFC did eventually too. So a little back trivia. So here's one you probably didn't know about either. Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat. This cat, this dude, way back in the day, goes to college, I think drops out because he gets married and his wife's like, you draw really well, like you have good stories, do that. He does that and wildly writes his first children's book. I forget the name of it. Writes his first. By the way, go on my website. I'll do a blog on this. Has all this information with the name even of the Dr. Seuss book. Anyway, goes in there, does this thing, tries 28 different failed attempts with publishers trying to get this book published for children. 28 people denied, rejected. Ooh. Thankfully, he did not take this whole criticism and rejection in a personalized manner. Like, oh, I'm a failure. Oh, he probably did. Probably had to work through it. And then eventually, now everybody knows Dr. Seuss. Isn't that just awesome? Okay, the last one. I mean, remember, failure, personalizing. Shaming. That is not a thing. Failing at something, that's a good thing. You just learn and grow. You figure out what not to do. This is pretty cool. Maya Angelou. This is a civil rights activist way back in the day. Now, good stuff. So here, I gotta kind of finagle so I can read it right. It's such a good quote. Here's the best quote. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. Isn't that cool? Ooh, kind of got a little bit of chills there. You need defeats. Defeats are good. Rejection is good. failing is good. No such thing as failure. That's it. There's no such thing as failure. That's a bad word in my head. I try not to say it, ever. Failing, it's okay. That's actually good. You need to fail if you're going to succeed. No one actually succeeds until they fail. So lean into it. Lean into it. So that's the Jed Said for today. I hope you like it. Like I said earlier, check out the website. It's going to be on there, www.meaningtolive.com. And if you haven't already, felt like this is pretty good information, it was informative and educational and maybe inspiring to the 23 subscribers I have, or just something that enlightened you in any way, man, share it. This is good information. And I'm sure you're already subscribed. So I appreciate the support. And until next time, awareness up.